Welcome. We're so excited that this day is here and that we're able to finally share this first of its kind safety and preparedness program with you. This amazing program is 2 years in the making, and we hope that you enjoy the time we spend together today. The first part of the program is for everyone: families, caregivers, support people, educators, and anyone who interacts with a person or people on the autism spectrum, including emergency responders. The second part of the program, after the break, is for the responder community. We had really hoped to deliver this Launch and Learn live, but sadly, the reality of COVID-19 means that this presentation is recorded. That does not, however, stop us from chatting or hosting a Q&A. The chat is available on the right-hand side of your screen, so please feel free to ask any questions you may have there. Our team is standing by to answer questions and moderate the comments. And on that note, we have to say it. Please be respectful in your language, as well as with the other participants. If you're not comfortable sharing your questions publicly, you're welcome to email us at sarah@autismcanada.org, and we will email you back as soon as possible. And so, with that, we are ready to kick things off. Thanks again for being here, and enjoy the presentation.
Thank you all for joining us for this exciting Launch and Learn. I'm Dermot Cleary, and I'm the proud chair of the Board of Directors here at Autism Canada. Our volunteer Board of Directors and dedicated staff take our commitment to the autistic community very seriously. For the past 2 years, we've been working on this important project, Search and Rescue for Autism. As you'll learn today, this project has been developed by our team with the input and support of the emergency response community, including review by subject matter experts and the Canadian autistic community. This life-saving training is being delivered internationally to support both the emergency response and the autistic community. It is fully interoperable because when it comes to saving the lives of those on the spectrum, there is no border. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests joining us. Among them, the RCMP SAR Canadian Forces, the head of SARVAC, Red Cross, Parks Canada, Calgary Education and Public Safety. On behalf of Autism Canada, it is my privilege to tell you how proud I am of all the work our organization does. Our board, staff, and volunteers go above and beyond every single day. We thank you. To our sponsors, like the British Columbia Government and Service Employees Union, Teleroo, and Novatech, we couldn't do this without your ongoing generosity. And a special thank you to our community members, autistics, your friends, family, and caregivers. In the most literal sense, what we do is for you. Thank you for your input, encouragement, and support. I hope you enjoy your day today.
Hi, I'm Barbara Patton, the Executive Director here at Autism Canada. I'm very proud to be here today as part of the Search and Rescue for Autism program launch. But before I talk about the program, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors who came together to make today happen. I would especially like to thank the British Columbia Government Service Employees Union as our presenting sponsor, and to Novatech for always giving us support. The SARA program has been in the works for almost 2 years now. Our program manager is Shannon Selinsky, a retired volunteer fire captain and training officer. There's never before been a search and rescue program for vulnerable populations, so Autism Canada started with a blank slate and a vision. Today, the program is fully interoperable and the techniques are being used worldwide. But SARA is a 2-part program. The first part was the hard part. That was Shannon and her field experts designing the program, creating the modules, and pulling all the pieces together. The second part is where you come in. It's getting your teams trained. Our program is ineffective unless you take the technical training, put the plan into action, and save some lives. So I'm asking you today to please book your training after the conference and help us bring our program to life. With that, I will turn it over to Shannon. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you, Dermot and Barbara, and especially to BCGEU, the BC Government and Service Employees Union, for sponsoring our event today. Just before we start the program, we want to share the why of Search and Rescue for Autism with you. Why we developed the program, why it is important, why you should take advantage of our free resources, and for our emergency responders in attendance, why you should book your training with us today.
I definitely want to hear some of those stories. But before we get there, it would be great just to sort of explain what SARA is, SARA being Search and Rescue for Autism, and sort of giving a bit of an outline of why you felt like it was important to create a program like this, because not only are you the trainer for this program, but you also developed this program. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
That was an interesting journey, and you're right, it's not the path that you would have thought. Autism Canada was successful in getting a Search and Rescue New Initiatives grant around preventing wandering and bolting and becoming lost for autistics. When they brought me on board, I went to my fire community and I said, "What do you have for training?" And they said, "Nothing." And I said, "What do you want for training?" And they said, "We would really like to see a robust prevention suite for the community at large, but we want technical training. We want training that's going to fit in with what we're already doing for training. We want better tools. We want new tools. And we want it to be something that fits in with our existing training structures." So Search and Rescue for Autism is not a tip card or a toolbox or just a PDF that you print off or laminate. It's an actual technical training that we do, not just with search and rescue, but with first responders and other people who would come in contact with an autistic person who may have become lost, may be wandering, may have even bolted. So we've really embraced our responder community and our prevention community, and also put those prevention tools in place, because as a training officer, that's always the place I want to be, is training people and in those prevention activities, so that we don't have a lot of responses to people who've become lost. Autistics tend not to have great outcomes when they are lost, especially due to wandering and bolting. And we want to be able to have those prevention activities to support them. So Search and Rescue for Autism is unique. It's the only one of its kind. We've worked with experts in the search and rescue field, and in lots of different areas. We've talked to the autistic community, and I believe that we've put together something that really supports both and the larger community where we all live, work, and play. This is something that supports all of us and increases that accessibility, and also educates and informs our first responders about a very vulnerable population that they serve.
As you've all learned from doing various Zoom calls and virtual trainings, we always have that little housekeeping slide, or a little bit of housekeeping that we have to do. Thank you so much for being here today. This is a pre-recorded presentation, but the questions and the comments in the chat window are going to be live. So if you have questions at a particular part of the presentation, feel free to drop it into the chat. I'll be there to chat with you, or you can always message me afterwards. Enjoy the program. Hey everyone, welcome to the Launch and Learn for Search and Rescue for Autism. My name's Shannon Slinsky, and I'm the program manager for this important project by Autism Canada. This isn't how we wanted to do our launch. We were hoping to be able to be in person, but you know what? This is going to work great. We're going to have a really great time, and I'm excited about introducing you to all of our resources for the project, and we're going to get started. As a program manager for Autism Canada's Search and Rescue for Autism, I'd like to introduce you to myself a little bit. I come from a fire and rescue background. I was a captain and a training officer on a fire department, and I've also worked in an R&D project around emergency planning and vulnerable populations federally. So I come to this project with a real heart for serving and a real understanding and a connection to our responder community. But I also have autism in my family and in my home, so I also have a deep and personal connection to the autistic community. Bringing that all together really helps me put a lot of passion and effort, and also allowed me to gather a great group of experts and community members to build this program for you. And we've done an amazing job. They've been super helpful, and we appreciate all of their efforts. And I'm really looking forward to introducing you to all the components. So what is SARA? Search and Rescue for Autism is a really important project. What we've done is we've gone to both the autistic and the responder community to learn about their experiences around wandering and bolting and becoming lost, and also what it was like to be found and brought back to safety. We wanted to really understand those dynamics and find ways to support the community in both prevention activities and responders as they work hard to respond to incidents with autistics, such as someone becoming lost. There's some important things to keep in mind. Loss can happen to anyone. Autistics of any age can wander, bolt, become lost. It's not limited to a certain age group, demographic, or even geographic region. So those prevention materials that we've developed are so important because they can travel with you where you go, and they can make exploring, traveling, and just being in your own neighborhood safer and more engaging and fun to explore. It's also important to understand and identify the risks and hazards around where you live, work, and play, whether it's school or your job, whether it's around your home or where you're going on holidays. Understanding those risks and hazards and talking about them can really help prevent someone from becoming injured or becoming lost and having, not a great interaction with a hazard. It's important to understand those things, and when we talk about them, then we can understand them and we can learn to navigate them. Prevention is proactive. We've built our social stories, our What is Lost comic, all around making prevention something that's proactive and something positive and fun for your family. Preventing wandering and bolting is something that we're all concerned about, we all think about, but it's all something that we have tools now to do something about, and it's going to be a really great way to be able to engage and have fun in our environments and still feel safe. Social stories are really amazing, and for those of you who know how to use them or have used them in the past, you know that they can be a dynamic tool that can really help educate and inform. For those of you that aren't familiar with social stories, I'd like to introduce you to some of ours. We've created a set of social stories around outdoor activities and safe zones to help people not just explore safely, but have conversations around wandering and bolting and why we want to prevent those activities, and how to help someone who has wandered know what to do and recognize what lost looks like, even if they don't feel lost.
Under our NIF grant, our federal partner was Parks Canada. So one of the best things that we have is a great suite of social stories around those fun activities of traveling and camping and having a campfire, going to someplace new, just those things that will make it easier for families to go and have a good time. We've still got lots of fall ahead of us. We've got a long weekend coming up. We have lots of opportunities to explore. Even with COVID, our backyards, our neighborhoods, our communities, these social stories help people plan to be safe. So they're personalizable. You can put in your own pictures. You can put in your own names. You can print them out. You can put them on a tablet. And they're a great way to explore how to be safe around the campfire, what our camping spot might look like. We're going on a hike. What are the rules for going on a group hike? What are some things we should and shouldn't do so that everybody has a great time and no one is getting left behind, potentially becoming lost, and everybody feels like they are participating in the activity and having a good time because it's open to everyone, it's accessible. And that's one of the things with social stories, is it's for everybody in the group, whether it's a group of friends or family and caregiver. Okay, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about this. These are the things we can do around the campfire. These are the rules of things that we don't do. And if we can all agree on them, we're gonna have a great time.
What is Lost? We're very excited about the What is Lost comic. It's a special kind of social story for older teens, young adults, really anyone. But it came about from having some important conversations with the autistic community and with our search and rescue colleagues around feeling lost and recognizing what lost looks like. For many autistics, that intuitive sense of feeling something isn't very clear. So what we wanted to do was take the feeling out of lost and make it something you could recognize. So the What is Lost comic does that. It makes it so there are identifiable characteristics of being lost and gives suggestions on things that you can do to become unlost. We're going to play a video clip of the comic right now, so enjoy.
I am with people I know, or people I know I'm supposed to be with. I am in a place I know well or have been to a lot. I am in a place that is a part of my planned routine. I am with or around strangers. I'm somewhere that isn't where I plan to be. I'm in a place I don't know or haven't been to very much. What if I don't think or feel lost, even with that combination of situations? My family or friends will worry that I'm lost if I'm unexpectedly not with them. I don't want them to worry. If someone starts calling my phone, I should answer. Where are you? If I hear someone calling my name and looking for me, I should respond. They're trying to make me not lost. Hello, here I am.
I love that video. Everyone on the team was just so excited about that video. What is Lost is also available as a static PDF, so you can print it off, you can share it, post it. What we want it to do is to allow you to have those great conversations around what does lost look like. Even if you don't feel lost, there'll be things that can tell your loved one what lost will look like, and that will really help in the prevention of wandering and bolting.
So we have an assumption in the neurotypical world that you'll feel lost, or you'll know what lost feels like. You will sense the authority in someone's voice and do what they tell you to do because of a tone. Autistics don't see the world that way. Their brain isn't wired that way. So what we created is the What is Lost comic. And what it does is it takes the feeling out of being lost, and it gives specific criteria. What does lost look like? And when I've decided that I've met the criteria for being lost, what are things I'm expected to do? What are the next steps for me to become unlost? Because no one wants their friends and family to worry about them. No one wants to have a lot of people, upset or concerned. So what are my next steps to let people know I'm okay? How do I get them to come find me if I can't get back to them on my own? So what is lost takes the feeling out of being lost and says, these are the criteria of being lost, and these are the things you need to do. If someone's calling your name, you should answer them. If they're texting you or calling you, even though it's interrupting what you're doing, they're worried about you, and you should probably let them know you're okay and let them know where you're at. And we've targeted it towards older teens and young adults who are very much exploring their world and their independence and finding their way.
The training that we're offering through the Search and Rescue for Autism program is not limited to search and rescue, and it's not just for first responders. What we've done is, out of that basic search and rescue technical training that we've developed, we've created a number of modules. And those can be used by professional organizations, volunteer groups, communities, municipalities, event planners, facilities managers, and they help you create a sensory supportive and accepting place for your autistic guests, co-workers, students, and friends. So we've really created that suite of additional training that's accessible to you, and we would love for you to get in touch with us about it. Be sure to ask about the sensory supports training, recognizing behaviors, and our customized and hybrid trainings. Our level training allows us to work with any number of groups, any size, and across the country because it's all virtual. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to offer your organization customized training for your teams that will really support your community. One of the most exciting things about this project is that it's the first of its kind. It's a training and prevention program that has been developed with autistic experts, search and rescue and emergency response and planning experts, and we're so proud of it. We're really engaged with our communities, and we really want to make this something that everyone can use and access. We have different levels of training and even different accessibility levels. We have free programming and we have paid per use programming. So we really have something for everyone. One of the most important things to remember about this project is that it is based in the search and rescue community, but it is so much more, and there's so much there for the community. Thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited to have you, and also a little sad that we couldn't be getting together after this to talk in person about this great project and hear your stories and experiences. But I invite you to reach out to us by email, on social media, connect with us on our website, check out the resources. We're here for you. This is our community, and we want to be able to give you the tools that you need for it to be a great experience for everyone, whether you're exploring your own backyard or you're going on a trip, whether you're responders that are adding this to your training or your community looking at it as prevention materials. Again, thank you so much for being here, and a big thank you to our sponsors, our volunteers, and all of our experts that have provided so much support to this project, and to you for being here today and being a part of this great Launch and Learn. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
That concludes the first part of the program. We are grateful for the support of our community and are here for you should you need us. Our contact information is available on our websites at www.sarautism.ca, sarautism.ca, and www.autismcanada.org. For those of you who are signing off, we thank you for being here. Watch for a follow-up email with links for all of the things we have reviewed this morning, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. For those of you joining us for part 2 of today's launch, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We'll see you back here shortly.
Good day. My name is Mark Gillen. I'm the Director of Emergency Solutions International from St. John, New Brunswick. We were very pleased to be part of the team to help in a small way with regard to the development of the Search and Rescue for Autism curriculum. Thanks so much to Shannon Selinsky for her leadership, her and her team from Autism Canada, backing financially from Public Safety Canada and Parks Canada. And it was just a privilege to be involved in this project, to experience, Shannon's passion and expertise around this discipline and this new area of thought leadership. Thank you as delegates for taking time out of your Saturday for attending this event. We're thrilled that so many of you, hundreds, have been able to participate today. And what I would say to you is that the launch of the curriculum today is in fact the beginning of our process rather than the end. So we welcome and look forward to your input in the days to come as we bring the new standardized curriculum to the masses and bring it out to responders. As a 30-year fire service veteran, I've personally seen the requirement to have a heightened level of diligence around our care and inclusion of the autistic community within our prevention and response strategies. Like the incident command system, it is so important that we have a standardized methodology that enables us to work horizontally across our country and vertically with the United States and eventually around the world, all in the same manner, that we speak the same lexicon of language, and that our responders and our community are all working together with regard to support for individuals who may become lost or may bolt during an emergency incident. It's critical for responders to be trained and to learn about how to understand various signs that they will see, how to provide preparedness programs in relation to preventing folks of vulnerable populations with regard to them becoming anxious around what are very chaotic incidents. So the lights, the sirens, the loud noises, the shouting, that we ensure that we are sensitive and be on the lookout for these types of things that myself, when I was a young firefighter, I would not have been educated to be able to understand these types of concepts. And Shannon and her team have done a terrific job boiling this material down so that everybody will have a good understanding of where we should go in the future. Myself, as a fire service thought leader, looks forward to the day that this becomes standardized curriculum that is integrated into whether it be our IFSTA fundamentals or right into our fire academies, so that all individuals, before they even get on a piece of apparatus, would have an understanding when working with police and EMS, but as well even receiving messages from 911 dispatch, that again, we're all speaking the same lexicon of language, and that we have this in our DNA rather than something that we're opening a book and reading about. So I would say to you folks that are tuning in and taking time out of your Saturday, again, thank you. Thank you to Shannon Selinsky for your leadership on this project. Your passion has been the catalyst that has ensured the success of this project. And I am very pleased today to be a Canadian and to see Canadians like Shannon take a leadership role and launch what will undoubtedly be global standardization with regard to how we care for these vulnerable persons in our community. Thank you.
For those of you who are coming back for our second part, welcome back. It's great to see you again. I know it's a Zoom call, I'm just being friendly. And for those of you who are just joining us, thanks for joining in for the Search and Rescue for Autism Launch and Learn. We're in our responder segment of the program for today, and I'm really excited to share with you about our technical training and all of the resources that we've been building for our responder community. My name is Shannon Selinsky, and I am the Program Manager for Search and Rescue for Autism, a project by Autism Canada. And I come from a fire background. I was a fire captain and a training officer, And I've also worked federally for a number of years as a senior advisor on an R&D project around emergency planning and vulnerable populations. So I'm really coming to this with you in mind, and training and scenarios and being able to go out and do a great job for the communities that we love to serve. So let's get started. It's going to be great, and I'm so glad you're here. What is Search and Rescue for Autism? Search and Rescue for Autism is a project under a SARNF grant, and for those of you not familiar with that, it's a Search and Rescue New Initiative Fund grant through Public Safety. And what we did when I came on board is we actually talked to the responder community and the autistic community. We wanted to really understand about wandering, bolting, becoming lost, and also searching for a lost autistic. How is that a different dynamic? How does that fit within lost person behavior? And how can we have more successful searches? But more importantly, how can we build prevention tools so that our community is more prepared and we have fewer incidents of wandering and bolting and fewer incidents of individuals becoming lost? When we developed this program, in conjunction with talking to both the autistic community and the responder community, I went back to my scenario writing and training days and built it under the 4 pillars: prevent, protect, respond, and recover. And we've built activities and programming that fit under all 4 of those pillars, so they're easy to find, easy to use, and it really becomes that cycle where when we're done recovery and we're into the prevention phase, how can we make that better? How can we use those tools more effectively? Maybe we need to make new tools. But for right now, what we've developed for Search and Rescue for Autism is a set of tools and technical training, which is the first of its kind. No one else has done this, for technical training for search and rescue and additional training modules for other responders and other organizations that want to do better for their autistic community. And we've also built prevention tools for the autistic community and tools that you can use for your open houses, your community events, and engaging with your autistic community members on those prevention conversations. Loss can happen to anyone. You're born autistic and it is with you through your entire life. We have many autistic adults who become lost due to wandering and bolting, and we have autistics of every age that experience becoming lost. We want to make sure that we understand that this training and all of the support materials are national. This is for our whole community, for everyone living in Canada, because autism is with us wherever we go throughout our life. So it doesn't matter about geography or where you're located or even what your preferred activity is. This is for you. We also want to remember an autistic who's lost is not going to recognize and engage with hazards in a neurotypical way. We cover that in the training, but it's really important to keep in mind that there is a lot of specific technical things that we are covering for you in these trainings and in the prevention materials. It's important to remember that there's a space between prevent and respond where we have a lot of activities and a lot of things that we can be doing to becoming familiar, engaging with, and building good relationships with all of our community members, especially the vulnerable ones. Search and Rescue for Autism is unique. It is technical training. It has a lot of support materials. We have quick response guides. We have a number of quick start videos to help you after your training, just to remember those important key points. The quick response guides are single sheets. You can laminate, you can put them on your tablet. They're a great resource to have in your units. We talk about important supportive things like sensory supports and recognizing behaviors. We get into lost person behavior. We've spoken to Dr. Koister and Dr. Kupitz, as well as Dr. Temple-Grandin, about the important parts of this training for the autistic community, and we've incorporated that not just into the prevention materials, but also into those technical response trainings and the additional training modules. Some of the exciting training modules are for command staff, training officers. For those of you who may be interested in becoming a regional trainer, I would love to talk to you about that. It's so exciting. And also around just building those community relationships and using those tools and those prevention things effectively. And we also talked about sensory supports, which is something that's really important for you to keep in mind because the response isn't complete until everyone's home safe, and that includes us. There's some really unique aspects to the Search and Rescue for Autism technical training. One is it is entirely scenario-based. We've spoken to the community, the autistic community members, as well as our responders. We've heard their stories about the interactions, about becoming lost, wandering, bolting, what happened during a response, what happened after. We've built that into our scenario-based training. So all of this is very much experiences of Canadian responders, Canadian autistics, but also, and this is very important, it's interoperable. So we can be using this anywhere. The other important thing is that it's regionally diverse. We have so many places that people can explore and unfortunately become lost in, that we need it to be regionally diverse. And with digital delivery and print on demand, it doesn't matter where your team is at, we can deliver training right to you. We offer email and phone support as well as technical resources, and we're here for you. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you want more information, just let us know. We're definitely here to help you. And this program is built for our artistic community and our responder community.
So can you tell us the boot story right now?
So I heard this story from a responder group in BC. There was a mom who had an older teenager who was having a meltdown when they were walking downtown. And he was a lot bigger than his mom. So she did the only thing she could think of to keep him from bolting, and she sat on it. And he was very upset because he didn't want to be touched. And he was also very upset because he wanted to be somewhere else. And she was very afraid that he would bolt into traffic and he would get hit. And her biggest concern was that what she was doing would be misunderstood. He's howling and he is just having very much a meltdown. He's very upset. And her biggest worry is someone is going to think she's hurting him, pull her off of him, and he's going to be gone. He will bolt into traffic. He will bolt into a hazard he can't navigate. And she said she was sitting there, as it was relayed to me, and she looked up and she saw 2 pairs of duty boots standing in front of her. And she realized, oh no, someone called the police. What do I do? And the one officer had taken an awareness training and looked at her and said, ma'am, how can I help you? What can we do to help? And she said it was her worst day because she was so afraid, but it was also her best day because she met a responder that had had training and understood what was going on with the situation. And they recognized that it was an autistic meltdown, and they recognized the danger of him bolting into danger. So it was very much a scary story, but also had a happy ending because the responders had the training that they needed to give a good outcome.
Another important thing about this training is that it's not limited to search and rescue. The one thing I love about the search and rescue community is we all come from other places, different branches of service, different professions. We all have those great experiences, and we all have day jobs. So we can take this training back because it is leveled. We have modules, so you can take this training and you can take it to your organization, you can take it to your professional body and say, hey, there's some things that we can be doing, not just for first responders, not just for search and rescue, but we can be talking about training for recognizing behaviors and sensory support. So we can really get started on that conversation because there's some really good stuff there for anybody. Leveled training. Why would we do leveled training? There's a couple of really important reasons. One, it allows us to do digital delivery in more consumable bites. It's easier to break it out into pieces and learn over a bit of time than trying to sit through a really long Zoom call. And I know if I'd asked for a show of hands, nobody's hands would go up for long Zoom calls. So I'm with you on that one. The other reason that we're doing leveled training is it allows us to customize it. What are the needs of your region, your organization, your team? What's the size of your team? We can build the training around you and your needs and still provide you all that great content and that great learning just how you need it. There's some key points that I would like to share with you about the Search and Rescue for Autism programming and our other training modules. It's important to remember that this is the first of its kind training. We've developed it with this community and for this community, and we're very proud of it, and we're really excited about sharing it with you. And it's small changes that are going to make a big impact, and that's what we're so excited about. Is it's a new training, it's a new technical training, but it plugs into what you're already doing. It plugs in and it makes it better. It plugs in and gives you more tools. Because honestly, everybody's got their favorite tools on the unit. They've got their favorite jobs. This will help make those things better. This is also a comprehensive training for all responders. It's not limited to search and rescue, even though we did start there. And we love the search and rescue community, but we really are all about all of the response communities and other communities that support, interact, and live with autistics every day. This is an important place for us to communicate, to build relationships, and feel comfortable with one another. So that's really important for us that the autistic community was heard, as well as the responder community, not just in the development, but also the delivery of these programs and the prevention tools that go with them. This program is interoperable. And that's really important for those teams that may have outside supports that come in or have visiting members or may be engaged in large-scale incidents. Interoperability is important. We are fully interoperable. We fit with the incident command system, and we do have training for your command level officers and for your training officers to make sure everybody is on task and they know how it all fits. This training has undergone validation and testing at a number of different levels. We've had it reviewed. We've made those changes. We're improving every day. We always want to make it dynamic. We always want to make it something that can be growing with our increased knowledge of both search and rescue and lost person behavior. And it's really important to acknowledge that we've had so much support from our communities, and we're just so thankful for both the stories from the autistics and from the responder community to make this program the dynamic reality that it's become and that we're celebrating today at our launch. Another important thing to remember with our level trainings is that we do have free trainings for search and rescue teams. This is important to me personally because coming from a volunteer fire department background, I know how hard it can be to access training. We have free training for search and rescue teams, and all of our other trainings are very reasonably priced to be accessible to our responder community. You can register at sarautism.ca. That will allow you to access training materials, downloads, and also see any new updates to the handbooks, to the quick response guides, and of course, access those quick start videos. You can connect with me by email, you can phone me, you can message off the website, or connect on social media. We love to hear from you, your stories, your experiences, and your thoughts around the training. We welcome you to get in touch about training, and we're really looking forward to meeting your teams and working with you by Zoom call and digital delivery for now, and maybe one day in person again. The responder community is an amazing and dynamic community. I'm so honored to be a part of it. And I'm also so proud of being a part and involved with our autistic community. They've been such a support to this project, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with you on the Q&A.
And that brings our Launch and Learn to a close. Having a virtual launch was not our first choice, but we're glad we got to connect with you on any platform. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can find us at sarautism.ca, autismcanada.org. You can phone us or simply drop us an email at info@autismcanada.org. As I said at the beginning of the day, now is the time to bring our program to life. There are so many levels of training to choose from, including the free prevention tools, like the social stories. If you go to sarautism.ca right now, you can download the social stories for free. Then there's the paid training, like recognizing behaviors and sensory supports, and our sensory support kits as well. They are lightweight, durable backpacks filled with emotional and physical support tools to be used during an emergency or a rescue. They're easy enough to fit into a car, a truck, or an ambulance. We have higher level training as well, like our regional trainer program, our operations leadership modules, our custom programming for responders, and we can build hybrid training modules as well. These are real-life scenario-based training, as well as tools for building a better relationship with the autistic community. That's who we're here to serve. And if you aren't aware, October is Autism Awareness Month here in Canada, and I encourage you to please continue to support us so we can bring the highest quality programs to the autistic community in Canada. I want to thank my team, the board, and our sponsors. I want to thank you for being here with us today. I hope you enjoyed your day, and have a great weekend.